Welcome, everybody. This is John Mulligan. Good morning, everybody. This is John Mulligan with Action Coach. And today I'm with Melissa Silvilla of Neil and Silvilla. And welcome to the podcast, Melissa. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
It's a
thank you so much.
beautiful day out. The weather is fantastic.
I'm loving it. So, for all of you who don't know, we live in the Clearwater, Florida area, and this is spring break. So, there's a lot of people visiting town right
Woo-hoo.
now, and spring training, and snowbirds. And yes, so it's that time of year.
I think we have the Valspar Golf Tournament coming up
That's
soon,
right. Exactly.
March Madness in Tampa. So Tampa Bay is the place to be right now.
It is. I say that all year round, but I agree with you. So, tell me a little bit about you. You're a personal injury attorney. So what's your background and how'd you get into that?
Yeah, so I started in a personal injury law firm working as a receptionist when I was 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
It was a great firm, kind of grew up there. Decided to go off on my own for a few years and work in business after I graduated with my undergrad degree.
Hmm.
And then just felt my heart pulling me back to the law. So I went back to that same fantastic firm and worked there as a paralegal through law school and
Excellent.
graduated law school, worked there as an attorney for many years, became a partner there,
Wow.
and then just, felt led to go out on my own with my partner at the other firm, Catherine Neal. And we started our own firm about 2 years ago, Neal and Silvilla Personal Injury Lawyers.
All right. Excellent. And are you the only two lawyers in this practice?
We are. We have an attorney who helps us when we need the backup.
Hmm.
She has her own practice, and so we kind of help each other out as needed.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, good. And so for those of us, I mean, there's lots of different branches of law. I mentioned my ex-wife was a malpractice attorney and did that kind of
Mhm.
thing, and HOA law and homeowners association law. But tell our audience, so what kind of are the confines of personal injury?
Right. So personal injury law, we help people who have been injured and it's not their fault. So
Okay.
sometimes that's through an auto accident. Sometimes it's a slip and fall.
Hmm.
Heaven forbid it's somebody who's been killed in an accident and
Hmm.
it wasn't their fault. We also practice funeral home malpractice, which
Really?
is kind of a unique little niche. It's not a huge portion of our caseload. But it is an area of law we practice as well. We're particularly passionate about working with DUI victims. We've
Hmm.
partnered with Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and we really appreciate being able to stand up for DUI victims.
Okay, very nice. And then how do people typically find you? I mean, I think there's a lot of personal injury attorneys out there.
Oh
So
my
what are some of the things that you've
goodness.
found that have been really successful in growing your practice?
Yes, so anybody who's not familiar with the Tampa Bay area, any road you drive up and down is basically covered in personal injury attorney billboards.
Yes, it is.
There are so many of us. I jokingly say we need to have like personal injury Hunger Games,
Yeah.
kill off half of us. There still would be an oversaturation in the market.
It would be.
So the majority of our new clients come to us from referrals from prior clients
Okay.
that are happy or, unfortunately may have a second incident that they have to come back.
Hmm.
But a lot of those are referrals from people who have had a great experience with us telling their friends and family.
Okay.
We also heavily market and invest in digital marketing. We see a value in billboards. We have a different amount of billboards at any given time, but
Okay. So you're
um,
also people I'm looking at on the road there. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah, sorry about that.
Wait, so you're trying to
Um,
get people to look at you so they have an accident and then they can come to you as a lawyer?
yeah, it's unfortunate. So, no, if you're looking at us and get distracted and cause an accident, then we can't help you.
That's right. That's right.
Um, but it's a necessary evil in our business. If you don't,
Hmm.
I had a client the other day who I was talking to, I've been talking to for months, and she's been thrilled with her representation, very appreciative. And she said to me, just kind of offhandedly, "Oh, my husband and I drove by your billboard the other day, and he said to me, 'Oh yeah, I guess they're legit.'"
Oh my gosh.
So, unfortunately, despite the fact that we've been, kicking tail for her for months, it was the
Hmm.
billboard that really convinced her husband we were legitimate.
Something's got to do it. Yeah, that's
So,
nice.
yeah, it's a necessary evil in our industry.
So what are so because of the competition, what are the So what do you think are some of your struggles when it comes to marketing? Like, if you found, obviously you have billboards, you have digital marketing. What have you
Mhm.
found to be some more of your effective strategies? Not that I want to give away the secrets to your competitors, but
Yeah, no.
what
So
are, yeah.
we're up against, what is it, the 800-pound gorilla? We're
Hmm.
up against the big guys that have millions to spend on
Yes.
marketing money. And so we really have to set ourselves apart by providing a better quality representation for our clients.
Hmm.
You have to look at what clients are complaining about at those law firms. A lot of
Hmm.
times it's, I've never spoken with an attorney. I've only spoken
Oh,
with a paralegal or an investigator. I never get return phone calls. The only way I can communicate with my client or with my attorney or the team is through an online portal. There's a lot of the complaints that you hear. And
okay.
so our focus is to be the polar opposite. I
Hmm.
speak with every single new client who calls into our office with
Okay.
a personal injury matter. They receive a consultation from me personally. I have
Hmm.
an incredible team here of fantastic top-notch paralegals, incredible claims adjusters that are case managers.
Okay.
We've got a great team here, but clients want to talk to their attorney. They want to
Right.
talk to the person who spent all that money on a law degree.
Right.
And so they deserve to have contact with us as well as their full legal team. So we communicate with our clients, we educate our clients, and really use those as key factors to set ourselves apart from the competition.
Okay. So if I'm somebody who had an accident, what would be some of the decision process I would go through to decide whether or not I just wanted to, deal with this insurance company, get my car
Mhm.
repaired, or versus I want to go talk to an attorney?
Well, a lot of people come to us because they get frustrated with the insurance company when it comes to their property damage.
Okay.
Our recommendation is always call us immediately because
Hmm.
if not, the insurance company is set up to get a recorded statement from you right off the bat.
Hmm.
They're going to make it sound like you can't get your car fixed unless you give them a recorded statement. If you give that recorded statement, you may say something in a way that opens the door for them to take advantage of you.
I see.
And so that's why we always encourage people call us immediately.
Hmm.
Let us help you with every step of the process so that we protect you from being taken advantage of. We are not here, personal injury attorneys get a really bad reputation, right?
Yes.
We're ambulance
I
chasers,
was gonna
we're
say that's the word that went through my
sharks.
mind.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
pond scum, all of those things. But really,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I'm not here to take advantage of anybody else. What
Hmm.
I'm here to do is to make sure my client is not taken advantage of. I
Okay.
was speaking with somebody last week who was in an accident, and the insurance company was pressuring her hard to take $1,000. Oh, you've missed some time from work. We will send you a check for $1,000. We can actually have it transferred directly into your account. All
Yeah.
you have to do is sign this quick little paper. What she was smart enough to realize is she didn't even know the extent of her injuries. Her
Sure.
accident was a week old. She was in a ton of pain. Yeah, she had missed time from work. So she was getting a little financially desperate and
Sure.
scared about her car. But she was smart enough to realize the insurance company is trying to lowball me now
Yes.
before I even have time to go to the doctor and figure out the extent of my injuries. If they're pressuring you to make a decision quickly, there's probably a reason why, and
Yes.
you shouldn't trust that.
I can understand that.
So, yeah,
Hmm.
we encourage people to call us right off the bat. I'm happy to talk to somebody who doesn't need to hire us. I'm happy to give, free advice, do the free consultation, and if they don't need us, I'll
Hmm.
tell them how to handle the situation on their own.
Okay. Okay, good. Yes, kind of reminds me, I know it's a different situation, but we have, and within my BNI group, we have somebody who's a public adjuster. And in many,
Hmm.
for in homeowners insurance kind of stuff, your roof gets damaged in a storm or whatever. And in the stories I talked to him about, it's a very similar situation where you call the insurance company and they're like, let me give you the bare minimum, you're good to go, versus he
Hmm.
can get things like your whole kitchen replaced because there was a big leak and stuff like that. And they're just like, oh,
Hmm.
we'll fix we'll fix the pipe. So
Right.
big difference. Yeah, that makes sense. So how big was your firm? You said you have, and I see paralegals, that makes sense. You have claims adjusters as well.
We have an intake specialist who
Hmm.
talks to all of our new clients when they call in, and then she gets their basic information, runs a conflict check, and gets them and puts them on the phone with me so that I can give them a consultation. We have a pre-litigation paralegal team that includes a paralegal, a case manager. Our case manager, Chris, is phenomenal. She worked for State Farm and AAA for over 30 years
Oh, wow.
as an insurance adjuster on the other side. So she really knows where the other side is coming from, what they're looking
Hmm.
at, so she can help our clients build the strongest case possible.
Okay.
Then we have a litigation team. Our litigation, we have an incredible litigation paralegal, and my partner is a board certified trial attorney, board
Okay.
certified civil trial attorney. So she handles our litigation work. And then we have a disbursement manager. So when our cases settle, the disbursement manager goes through with a fine tooth comb and looks at
Right.
every penny to make sure that our clients were charged properly,
Okay.
and gets those medical bills paid off. And then our most recent investment would be expanding our team with a incredible new marketing manager.
Hmm.
And Carlos was a huge blessing to the firm, and he's helping us kind of step up our game when it comes to marketing.
Perfect. Yeah, I spoke to Carlos, so yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about marketing. So, as I mentioned, with my ex-wife's an attorney, and I think one of the things that they struggled with her firm up in Virginia was the marketing aspect of it, right? It seemed like it's a very, very difficult thing to do. A lot of people don't understand the marketing aspect of it. Are there certain rules as an attorney that you have to follow when it comes to advertising or anything that's a limitation for you that people are aware of?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So marketing is so difficult for lawyers because we're advertising for a service that the client may not need yet
Okay.
or may not even know that they need. So what
Mhm.
you're doing is you're trying to build your brand so that when they do have that accident,
Mhm.
they remember your brand and they call you.
Gotcha.
So that's one of the challenges of marketing. But when it comes to the rules, Florida Bar, yes, Florida Bar has some pretty strict rules with advertising because they do want to keep us an admirable profession.
Sure.
They don't want us to, turn into
Right.
cheesy, tacky.
Hmm.
They want it to be a fair, even playing field, so that consumers have the opportunity to really research and choose a quality attorney. So there's a
Sure.
lot of rules. We have to get a lot of our marketing campaigns approved by the Florida Bar
Oh, really?
Association.
Okay.
Um, if anything is on your billboard other than the absolute basic necessities, your name, your phone number, your office location, you
Hmm.
pretty much have to have it approved by the Florida Bar Association.
Oh, interesting.
There are a lot of rules. There's certain images we're allowed to use and not allowed to use.
Yeah, interesting. And I've seen images, and obviously I would assume they've been approved, but I drive down the road and I see images that say, we've recovered over $10 million for our clients and things like that. And I think, okay, that obviously people go, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I want to call them, right? Because it sounds like a lot of money, but hard to know.
You have to be a little careful with those because
Hmm.
sometimes the verbiage is used and it is not that's not necessarily how much money the person put in their pocket.
Exactly.
It may be a judgment that doesn't have any value to it.
Hmm.
Maybe a, valueless piece of paper. So it just you have to be a little cautious.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. So, well, let me ask you this too, just keeping on the marketing thing. Do you guys have a CRM or some sort of way that you track your clients and interact
Oh,
with them and that sort of thing? Yeah.
absolutely. We would be lost. When I started in this industry, we had paper files that we
Yes.
carried around. They would travel in an attorney's car. The goal
Yes.
was that they always made it back into the building.
Yeah, the big banker's
Um,
box.
yeah, exactly,
Yes.
exactly. Oh, so much paper, so much paper. I mean, warehouses that would hold our old files.
Yes.
Just crazy. But so no, we would be completely lost if it wasn't for our case management system. We use
Hmm.
a program called FileVine, which we really like.
Okay.
It's very customizable.
Mhm.
And you can kind of build out what you need it to look like. It
Okay.
has a lead management program that goes with it as well. So
Good.
it kind of helps us compile if a lead is coming in from findlaw.com or
Oh
our
yeah.
Facebook marketing or our website chat. It puts it all onto one common program that we
Yeah.
can watch. and make sure that we are not letting anybody fall through the cracks.
Nice, nice. Do you have any follow? I'm just kind of curious. Are you doing any follow-up strategy with past clients? Christmas card, anything like that that just sort of keeps them, in case they have
Yes.
something that comes on later that they're still top of
Yes.
mind.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that we really bond with a lot of our clients.
Hmm.
We become friends with them. We become very invested in their lives, their children, their grandkids.
Yeah.
And so it's very natural for us to keep in touch with them.
Hmm.
But we would be foolish as we grew to not put some systems in place to make sure we were keeping track of people
Right, right.
and keeping in touch with people. So we do birthday cards, and they are hand signed birthday cards. They're not pre printed birthday cards.
Very nice.
We do birthday cards. We do Christmas cards. We send out a newsletter.
Hmm.
Any opportunity that we have to keep in touch with clients so that they remember us
Yeah.
is really important to us. And also because we like to keep in touch with them. We
Sure.
will receive a lot of calls from clients who maybe are going through a health situation.
Yeah.
And we're able to follow up with them and, pray for them and just stay in
Hmm.
touch with them and support them in any way we can.
Nice. I'm reminded actually. I sold a house in California years ago when my parents passed away, and the my real estate agent is an artist, and so she actually paints, and so she sent me this gift, and it's really kind of nice because obviously I keep it. And she had another one right there. But I like them so much I don't actually want to send them to anybody because they're so pretty that
Oh,
they're kind
that's
of
so
really nice.
neat. That's so neat. Actually, our postal woman approached, she did this cool hand-drawn Christmas card for us
Hmm.
this year and gave it to us. And we're like, "Are you an artist?"
Yeah.
And she is. And so she's actually designing customized birthday cards and Christmas cards for us.
Oh, very
So we're
nice.
so excited about them. So those should be
That's
coming out
fabulous.
soon.
Well,
Yeah.
so
So any of our,
if you know anybody that does art specifically focused on the ocean or sea, there's a great festival coming up in Coachman Park, May 16th called Sharkapalooza. One of my clients actually is the head of that nonprofit, and they're always looking for more artists that can
oh,
participate in that festival. So
fun.
yeah,
We'll have to check it out.
yeah, it's gonna be nice. All right, so let's talk about leadership for a minute. So obviously you have a team, right? So you're kind of in charge, you and your partner are in charge. Like, how would you describe your leadership style? And how do you train the team up and make sure that they're doing what they need to be doing and always growing so you don't lose them, through attrition, right?
Yeah. So we're really fortunate. Half of our team came with us from our
Oh,
previous
very
firm.
nice. Hmm.
So we kind of started as a really great cohesive group
Hmm.
that had, gone through an exciting adventure together. But our team has grown. We have some additional new team members since we started the firm. And we have been very intentional with the help. So we're huge believers in coaching.
Hmm.
Like with your program, we're huge
Yep.
believers in coaching. And so our coach that we've been working with for several years helped us build an onboarding program,
Oh,
helped
beautiful.
us build a training program,
Hmm.
also with the help of AI,
Yep.
help
Yep.
asking ChatGPT, what am I forgetting
Yes.
from this training program? And
Yes.
so we tried to build out a really good, strong training program, and kind of shared responsibility amongst the within the existing staff to
Hmm.
make sure that we trained up our new team members correctly. And along with that, it helped us kind of build that culture because our
Sure.
existing team members who brought the culture we wanted with us
Hmm.
helped us really make the new team members feel comfortable, made them feel part of the team,
Yes.
and let them know, it's not just us preaching as partners that this is what our culture is. It's
Yeah.
your teammates telling you this is what our culture is. So it's
Nice.
we've been very blessed that way.
Yeah, and I think it might be Peter Drucker that had that quote. I think it's culture beats or eats strategy for breakfast or something like that. So yeah,
I
I think
like
culture
it.
is important. And I know when I'm looking to hire people, I'm sometimes you can train anybody to do most everything. You
Hmm.
can't train them to be a good person, right?
Yes.
So when
Yes,
I'm
to be a
looking at
good
hiring,
teammate,
yes,
to be a
exactly.
good teammate, to be kind and compassionate and empathetic.
Hmm.
And so we fight hard to find the right people,
Yeah.
and then, we have procedures in place to teach them how to do the job.
All right. Excellent. All right, we're getting close to the top. This goes by so fast. Let's see, I've already asked you a bunch of good questions there. Let me um let me ask you a question about um What's your work-life balance look like?
Oh, great. That's a fun question. Um, Is there any work-life balance when you are
For an
a
attorney?
business owner? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah,
Is there a balance, or is this the life we chose? This is the life I chose. I
right.
have four incredible children,
Oh, fabulous.
two of them that are young and live at home still,
Hmm.
and I have an amazing husband. I have incredible parents,
Oh, very
and
nice.
so when it comes to work-life balance, there would be no life if there wasn't for this incredible support system that I have.
That's amazing. Your
And
parents are local, I assume?
yeah, my parents
Very
are
nice.
local.
Nice.
My God bless my father. He is just the most incredible human being on earth. And he has retired to be a grandfather, basically. And
Beautiful.
he picks up my son, he picks up my partner's son, both of them from school, and helps cart them around for us. And so work-life balance is a tough one. I think that one of the things that I did right when we started this firm
Hmm.
is my family was part of it.
Hmm.
You know, the kids and my husband were on board to start this adventure together. They helped build the office.
Hmm.
They consented to this life. And
Yes,
so they don't get angry when I have to step aside at dinner time and take a new client phone call,
absolutely.
because that's what I have to do. But along with that, I have the freedom and flexibility that I can take time off and volunteer at my daughter's school. I'm the PTA president at her school. I'm
Oh,
super
nice.
involved there. You know, we're planning the carnival coming up. I can take time away from the office when I need to and
Sure.
have the flexibility to be the mom that I want to be as well, which is really, who can say that? It's fantastic. So I
That's
have the
fabulous.
flexibility to be the mom that I want to be because my family is so supportive and understanding that that may mean that I'm working on a Friday night
Yep.
or a Saturday night, or, you know, after I put the kids to bed, I may need to go
Hmm.
back to work. So if it wasn't for the incredible support system, my incredible husband, who always has my back, never complains about anything when it comes to growing the firm, you know, I wouldn't stand a chance. I'm so lucky.
That is very fortunate. Yeah, I'd love to hear that. All right, a couple rapid fire questions here. What do you see is the
Sorry.
key to success for you?
Well, the key to success is that we work hard, we
Hmm.
set ourselves apart, we stand by our word, and we do the right thing by our clients.
Okay.
My partner and I hold each other accountable. We have the same belief system.
Hmm.
And so we hold ourselves accountable.
Beautiful. Okay. And then what's a book or a podcast you're reading or listening to?
Oh, so there's a ton of great podcasts out there for law firms that are in a growth
Hmm.
stage. I
Hmm.
love the Game Changing Attorney
Oh,
podcast.
okay.
It's a great podcast. There are some other podcasts that are run by different um, personal injury marketing companies.
Okay.
And so I
Oh,
try
good.
to stay on top of listening to those as well.
Yeah, yeah. All right, very nice. And I guess the last question. So if you had a little magic fairy dust and you could sort of sprinkle it over the law firm, like where would you put it?
Growth, growth and marketing.
Growth.
You
Okay.
know, I want to grow this firm not
Hmm.
only so that we can more positively impact more members of our community, protect them from attorneys that aren't doing the right thing,
Right.
but also to be able to employ even more and more members of our community to give them a safe, rewarding, secure place to grow their careers
Okay.
and to flourish.
All right. And you just have you I say just that's you have
Hmm.
two attorneys. Are you planning
Yep,
expanding the attorney pool, bringing on junior
that's the
associates or
goal.
okay.
That's the goal.
Good. Good. Well, that's
It's
awesome.
hard to trust anybody else though with your clients. You know, they're like your babies.
Yes.
It'll be very tough and we will struggle with that.
Hmm.
But I imagine that our, you know, coaching program will push us to do that and, you know, um, help us grow. And I really should backtrack. You said one of the keys to our success, a huge key to our success has been investing in coaching,
Hmm.
investing in people who have done it better than us, done it,
Hmm.
already mastered these things, and having those mentors and people in our lives that will speak truth to us,
Excellent.
that will challenge our belief system.
Hmm.
I'm a huge believer in coaching. So if you are a professional out there and don't have a coach,
Yeah. Did
get
everybody hear
one,
that?
yeah, get a mentor, get a coach, get somebody who
Yes.
will help speak truth into your business.
Yes, I tell that. Well, okay, so I will say this. One of the things, so you talk about lead generation and all, what I find as a coach, people often struggle with is they go, I don't think I want to spend the money to do that. What would be the advice you would give a business owner who's having that? I look at it as an investment. It's going to pay dividends in
Whew.
the end, right? But what would be the advice that you would give a business owner to kind of push them past the threshold to say, yeah, you should invest in a coach?
You're going to get me on my soapbox here. If
Okay.
it weren't for our coach, we would have never been brave enough to step out on our own.
Okay.
We would have never made this life-changing, life-altering decision that we have
Hmm.
not regretted for a single day. And the money that we spend on our coaching, if it weren't for what they're teaching us, and if it weren't for how they're holding us accountable, we would maybe not continue to be the successful business that we're going to be. I really want to give them a lot of credit for the success that we've had. They
Excellent.
hold us accountable, they push us, they make us think about things that we would not have thought about because we're so blinded by our industry
Right.
perceptions.
Right.
A coach is really able to push you to grow your business, expand your business, think about things differently. It is the best money we have spent,
Excellent.
honestly.
Good. Good. I love to hear that. I may take that
Mhm.
clip and use it. I like that. Thank you so much. All right, I heard my bell climb, so it's already top of the hour. All right, well, thank you very much, Melissa. So I've been
Thank
here with
you.
Melissa Solvilla with Neil and Solvilla, attorneys in Clearwater, Florida. So thank you so very much. I'm John Mulligan with Action Coach. So thanks for joining me today.